This is a complicated question with a complicated answer to it. Malcolm Gladwell wrote a book called Outliers that popularized this idea of 10,000 hours being what it takes to be able to reach like expert level performance or whatever. That idea is based off of research by K. Anders Ericsson. K. Anders Ericsson found on average for a lot of domains, it takes around 10,000 hours to become like expert. But every domain is different. So for example, in some domains like wrestling, it was like 8,000 hours. In domains like chess and music, it's like over 20,000 hours. Let's say, just for the sake of like keeping things simple, we'll say it takes 10,000 hours to get from like absolute beginner to like a world-class level in terms of your hands and whatnot. In order to get those 10,000 hours in, you have to be able to practice an extended period of time every single day consistently to be able to get better over time. The problem is there's diminishing returns when you are practicing too much. So when I was practicing 12 plus hours a day, like during my undergrad and stuff in the School of Music or in all days, etc. Hour 1 is going to feel very different than hour 12 in terms of like my ability to be able to focus mentally or my hands just feeling relaxed. By hour 12, they're going to be very like inflamed from all of the inflammation from drumming too much. That can become a problem. When you get to like hour 4, it's not going to be as effective as hour 1. When you get to hour 10, it's not going to be as effective as hour 4. So every single hour that you add on to what you're doing with your practicing each day is going to have less and less returns on being able to be productive with it. So if you are super focused with what you do and very dedicated to, here's the thing that I need to work on today, and I'm going to work on this at the very beginning, you can make a lot more progress than if you just kind of like drum all day. Even if it's like 12 hours a day. If you put an hour of focus effort on, I want to be able to work on this aspect of my technique or this specific thing with rhythmic accuracy on this very specific rudiment, whatever it's going to be. If you go into it with that kind of a mindset, that 10,000 hours is going to look very different in terms of how much you're going to get out of it. So some people say they practice all day, they never improve, while other people claim that they practice a lot less and they're able to get more done. It's because they're just more focused with it. It's not a talent thing. And I say that as somebody who taught a graduate level course on skill acquisition and expertise in a college of music. So like have read a lot of research on this, like literally decades of it. Talent is quote unquote indistinguishable after 50 hours of somebody with quote unquote no talent. Literally just 50 hours of practice on a specific thing. And that's based off of research across many different domains, not just music. It's literally just how focused you are with your practicing. So if you could find ways to have a lot of very focused chunks of practicing throughout your day, that will make it so that you can get further ahead than somebody who only has one focused set of time practicing. So for example, I do these streams for about an hour, and in that hour, I'm able to get a good amount done. But if I were to do this like 3 or 4 times a day, I'd be able to make more gains than just doing that 1 hour. What some world-class performers will do, whether it's musicians or Olympic level athletes or whatever, is they will actually break their day down into different types of chunks. 2 to 3 hours on a focused effort on something, and then they'll have a break. And then they'll have 2 to 3 hours of focus on something, and then they'll have another break. And then maybe they'll have like an hour focus on something, and then they're done for the rest of the day. They're not just sitting there going from 8 a.m. to like 8 p.m. and just like working nonstop on there. They're actually getting more sleep in than most people who do not perform at that level. So like Olympians on average have about 9+ hours of sleep, whereas like somebody like myself has 7, maybe 8 on a good day if I'm lucky to be able to do that. And the reason why is because they actually will break their day down into working on something, and then they'll take a break. Well, they'll actually take a nap. In that napping period or the sleeping period, that is where your brain prunes things and it goes, this is important for us to be able to like develop more connections around. And this is stuff that we've only done a little bit of. We don't really need to worry about it. It was nice to know in that moment, but we can ignore that. If you think of that in relation to skills, the skills that you are developing and working on consistently every single day is a reinforcement of your brain saying, hey, that neural firing that I'm doing, that pattern over and over that I keep working on, that's an important thing. And because it keeps firing that same neurons, the same timing, etc., over and over, the brain's going to go, oh, that's important. We're going to do this thing called myelination, where it is going to strengthen those neural connections between the different axons and make it so that you are able to fire it with better precision and more efficiently. So it makes it so that you eventually get to a point where you don't have to think while doing it. So if I'm playing an ostinato pattern on the drum kit and I'm playing, I no longer have to think about what my right hand's doing versus my left foot on here or my right foot. All 3 of these are kind of operating independently, where I'm able to have a conversation with you and make it feel like it's normal. But when I first started learning this pattern, I couldn't even do this and have a conversation with just 2 of my limbs. The reason why I'm able to do that is because I practice it repeatedly each day, and my brain went, oh, this is something that's important. That firing between those 3 different limbs in the same pattern you keep doing this. So we basically need to like save this into our brain and go, this is something that's important. Let's make this something that we can do easily. And it eventually makes it so that it feels more and more comfortable. If I'd only done it like one time for like an hour and then never touched it again for like another month, the brain at night when you're sleeping, it's going to go, oh, this is interesting. We've done this before, but don't worry about it. We're not going to do it again for another month. We need to devote our resources towards something else. When you are practicing, if you want to actually reach the world-class level and you want to do it within whatever period of time that you're going to do it within, you need to be able to be absurdly focused on the thing that you're doing. You need to be able to get quality feedback from people who are going to evaluate where you need to refine things and help guide you along the path of what you're going to be able to work on. And you need to be able to analyze your own playing, to be able to figure out like what are the little baby steps that I can do to get better at this. I talk about this a lot in a lot of the other videos that I have in the drumming tips section on my channel's home tab. If you are able to record yourself playing something 2 times through and then listen back to what are the consistent mistakes, what are the inconsistent mistakes, also what does it look like, what does it sound like, and what does it feel like when going through that. And if you can do that for each one of those like reps that you're going through that, and then analyze that and go, oh, this is the one thing that I need to focus on in my next hour of practicing, and actually do that thing, that'll put you significantly ahead of other people. So you could practice for like 10 hours a day and make less progress than somebody who does 1 or 2 hours a day if they are doing all those things and all you're doing is just kind of like moving your hands with sticks in them. It's night and day in terms of the type of practice you're doing. So if you want to learn more about it, K. Anders Ericsson talks about it. The term that he uses is called deliberate practice. So look up scholarship on that. There's like Harvard Business Review short papers that are like only a few pages long that talk about deliberate practice. That is the kind of practicing you want to be able to do. So don't just like aimlessly play through something over and over and just like rep through it. So be very focused with it. The answer to your question is it's going to take years. If you want to actually get to the world-class level, don't measure in terms of like hours or days or even weeks. What you need to measure in terms of your overall progress over time is in months and ideally in years in terms of being able to get better at something. So it takes a lot of time and you have to be able to see that growth over time or you're going to lose motivation because of how many hours a day you're going to be spending getting to that world-class level. You're going to make a lot of sacrifices in terms of like who you're spending time with or what you are doing. So like when I was like really trying to get good at performing, teaching, I was barely playing any video games. I was barely hanging out with people, literally just in a practice room or in front of students just teaching. So I could just get those reps in and try and improve. Even with the teaching, what could I do to make this a better private lesson or a time in front of the band or in front of the drumline or whatever I was teaching in that moment? How can I get better as an educator? And I was actually going back and like listening to recordings of myself going, oh, I could have explained that better here. Or, oh, I could have had them play through this exercise as opposed to this exercise. So it was very deliberate with the ways that I was trying to improve my teaching, my performing, etc. That allowed me to progress further ahead than other people who are not being deliberate with that. But it makes it so that you can get burned out because you're just grinding. So you got to find some ways to stay motivated with that. If you go to the home tab here, inside the drumming tips here, there's multiple different videos that talk about how to prevent burnout, especially when you're practicing too much. So like this one, drumming tip number 105. There's other ones that talk about some of the sacrifices that comes with like the progress. The things that people see are like the results. So like I won the highest award possible in the field of music education for my dissertation. What you don't see is that it took me like 6 years to do that dissertation. And that's like working on it on Christmas morning. That's going in and being at the elementary school that I taught at like 5 a.m. so I could get a couple of hours uninterrupted time working on it, then coming home at night, working on it on the weekends, etc. Like you don't see those sacrifices that go into the accomplishments that other people have, whether it's like the publications or like the 100+ presentations that I've done, whatever. All of these things come with sacrifice. You need to know going into that whether or not it's worth it to compress that timeline. So if you are trying to get to a certain level and your timeline is very quick, know that that's going to come with an absurd amount of sacrifice. Like you're literally not going to hang out with anybody. All you're going to do is practice. You're not going to play video games. You're not going to go on social media. All you're going to do is practice if you want to meet the timeline that you're setting for yourself for that. So you can achieve world-class level abilities as a performer, as an educator in a compressed amount of time, but 10,000 hours is still 10,000 hours. Or in the case of musicians, it's literally over 20,000 hours. If you want to do that, know that the sacrifices come with it, or just accept the fact that this is going to take longer than I'd ideally like, but I know in the long run that I can reach those numbers and be able to do that thing. I have some friends who are also music educators who are professors of music education who are like jealous of the number of publications that I have or the number of presentations that I have. And they're like, man, I wish I could do that. And then I have to remind them like, like, yeah, but you also have several kids. I have a wife who's also a type A person who like also works really hard. So when she's working on something, I go and work on something as well. I don't have a child to take care of. The amount of hours that I have in each day that I can dedicate towards doing these things is more than people who don't have those kinds of commitments. And so when I talk to them, like politely try and remind them, like what you're asking for is not possible with the amount of time that you have. You'd have to give up all these other things that you love about your life that you wouldn't want to try and live my life. So just know that like everybody's going to be different. So don't compare yourself to the progress that other people are making, because some people just quite frankly have more time that they're able to dedicate towards the goals that they have in the things that they want to improve, whether as a performer, as an educator, or whatever it is that you're trying to do. They're just able to fit in more hours in the day. But hopefully that helps answer the question, or at least guides you towards a more nuanced understanding of it. It takes time, and it's a lot of time. And again, I say this as somebody who literally taught like a graduate level course on skill acquisition and expertise in relation to music education. There's no shortcuts to this. No matter how good or bad you are, everyone improves through practice. There's many ways that you can do that, and I talk about that in the drum section, specifically in the tips and lessons towards the bottom, how I've learned to practice and how I've taught other people to practice over the decades that I've been teaching kindergarten through doctoral students. But if you have like more follow-up questions, feel free to ask it either as a comment or on these live streams.